Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I wanted to share with you my restoration of a baby grand piano that was gifted to me recently. Shout out to the Avenue Fellowship. This is a much older piano, a Henry Miller made in Boston, and it's seen many good years. Overall, I was really impressed that the keys all still worked. None of the keys were sticking. There were some scratches on the outside as well as some indentation in the body of the piano. I used Minwax wood putty, walnut colored, to fill the gaps and dents, and then I sanded it with Prospect Gator sanding pads. These are really good for extra fine sanding, but that particular brand really works just as well as any other. I sanded the entire surface of the piano to prepare it for the primer, to make sure the primer could adhere more readily to the surface. As I began priming the piano, I had to be very careful to watch out for any droplets or splashes of paint. I didn't want to get anything into the mechanisms of the foot pedals that could impact the damper pedal or sustain pedal, for example. I also wanted to make sure to avoid getting any paint on the soundboard, as that would really cause problems with the functionality of the piano. I did this project in phases to allow time for the primer to dry before starting on the next part. So you can see here, as I open the fall board, that it has not yet been painted. I get to it a little bit later. I also wanted to make sure I covered the keys to protect them, to make sure there was no paint that fell either on the keys or between the keys that would definitely affect playability. I used blue painter's tape to tape down the keys, all surfaces of the keyboard. You can also purchase keyboard covers, adhesive keyboard covers on Amazon. I went with painter's tape just because it was more easily accessible. It's just very important to be careful, take attention to detail, to make sure that you cover every surface of the keys to prevent any spillage or leakage of paint or primer into the keyboard. The soundboard is in great condition, just needs a good tuning. The lid was not attached when I received the piano. The primer I'm using here is Sherwin-Williams Extreme Bond Primer. It's a urethane modified acrylic, so it adheres really well to wood surfaces like a grand piano. I am also using Sherwin-Williams Emerald collection of paints. It's in a urethane trim enamel paint. I went with a light gray, African gray is the official name of the color, and I used Minwax wood putty to patch the screw holes. When I first received the lid, the screws had been stripped and the hinges had fallen off. And so I repaired that and was able to successfully reattach the lid securely to the piano. Here I'm replacing the music rack that I had removed earlier to sand and repaint, and this was to make sure that I didn't get any paint into the strings, the hammers, or on the soundboard. Resurfacing and repainting a piano is precision work. You'll notice I'm using a sponge brush here to make sure that I have good control over the paint, the flow, and to make sure there is no spillage into any places where paint should not be. I finished painting the underside, the bottom of the lid, and allowed it to dry before replacing it back on top of the piano. And now you can see here I am painting the top of the lid. I purchased key tops to cover some of the chipped keys, and because the entire keyboard is discolored, kind of yellowed, and I thought it would be a nice way to freshen up the look. I'll be using a PVC based piano adhesive to affix these key top covers to the piano keys, and I'm excited about giving the keyboard a facelift. It's gonna look pretty awesome.